Hey, good morning. We are on here Sunday, October 19th. Today, we're going to talk about one more carrier, which is North American IUL. But before that, I want to share a couple of slides before I go into the solution. Again, we already know about X curve, law of decreasing responsibility, law of increasing wealth, and what the four problems are we give solutions for: dying too soon, living too long, disability, and estate planning. The first thing is protection. That's what we're going to talk about first. Is again, how do we do this? By using time formula. Income replacement, 10 years of income, $150,000 times 10, $1.5 million, right? And hey, if the client wants to take care of the biggest liability, their mortgage, we do add that to the liability. Then education, total financial responsibility, right? Again, our goal is to offer solutions from the cheapest to the best or inexpensive to the best, right? Now, before going to the solutions, first thing is how are we building our financial house? The first thing, it doesn't matter when you're building how many floors you have to build, the foundation has to be strong. Normally, when they tear down the house, they tear down the house, but not the foundation, right? Because the foundation is big enough. Right? So once you take care of the foundation, then if there is debt, especially high interest debt, credit cards, car loans, and all that stuff, and then make sure they have an emergency fund and invest, right? So emergency funds again means you could have it again is how much is it working for you? But once I have my IUL built up, I don't need this one again because I could access that fund at any time without any reason, right? Because that's one of the reasons of first having emergency fund. Once you have the cash value built up, yeah, it's up to you if you want to still keep that, because you can access your cash value anytime. So retirement wise, again, this is the biggest thing we talk about is how much do I need? First of all, there are a lot of vehicles available. When do I retire? How much do I need? What is the market risk? Do I pay taxes? All these things are there. It's not a gamble, be certain in uncertain times. And I just give a simple example of if I want to make a million, if my cost of living is $100,000 right now, my then with 3.5 inflation, if I'm retiring after 10 years, I would be needing $141,000 of income. To generate this kind of income, I need about $3.5 million of cash. Again, if you're looking at a cash, but I like to make sure people have different income sources. It's not about the asset, how much this can generate income wise. But this is definitely needed because if you need 100,000 right now, 10 years later, based on the inflation, you need about 141,000. If you're not retiring for the 20 years, you need about $200,000, right? So again, how long will that take to create this wealth, right? So again, people are looking solutions wise, basically guaranteed lifetime income without any risk for market losses because I'm in close to retirement. I don't want to take any losses now. Tax-free distributions because the big unknown is the taxes. Now, I want to give you a financial instrument that take care of the protection and the retirement planning both together. So that's when, again, this is all based on their affordability, their FND. If they don't have money, they only have enough money for time policy, we don't want to go there. That is why knowing the client is important, right? So let's say my client can afford. Now I'm going to tell Mr. Client, hey, do you want to know about a instrument that gives you tax-free growth, tax-free income, also protects you in the market down and protects you from down market protection? Is losing money an option for you, Mr. Client? Answer is no, right? And what financial products do you have in your that protects your principal, grows tax free, and provides tax free income? Like 90% of the people don't have any of this vehicles which does all these three things. This could again, once you have enough cash value built up, you could use this for emergency funds also. This can be used for college savings. It's like one solution that takes care of all these things. And if you designed a solution, never used anything, definitely everything goes to your kids tax free. Again, you could design this one for your disability or long-term care needs. So this one solution, depending on what is its priority. So today we're going to talk about is for now, again, simple one. First of all, why do I need to? Because a lot of people have the thing, I want to put in S&P 500, I'm going to get great returns. So why need the second? Why do I need the tax advantage bucket? And then we'll go to the illustration. So again, we're doing a combination of what do you call term policy, which is only for a certain number of years, and for the IUL, where you have death benefit and then the cash value is slowly building up. That's the idea. So the simple example here, if I want to, again, this is where we show the urgency. Why should we start sooner? If the client has about 20 years to retire, the good thing is he needs to only for to make $1 million. And if this investment is growing at 8% returns, again, we took that. So if its investment is going at 8% returns, if I put monthly $1,698 per month for the next 20 years, I would make $1 million. If I wait 5 years, if I delay 5 years, will go like this. It seems like I just dropped off my son in college and he's done with college 4 years. So again, so if I waited, now I need to put more than $1,200 more per month. If I take my own sweet time and then I only have 10 years to retire, this is how much money I have to put every single month to generate $1 million of wealth. That's why people who, I mean, I've seen school teachers, again, they don't have make money, but still they're returning millionaires because they are able to save consistent amount of money. They have to for 35 years, let's say, or for 30 years to retire, $671. This is the compounding. Again, we can talk about juvenile policies later. That is what we're looking at is the compounding effect of these, right? So with that, let me go to the another one. One of the examples is here. I want to show this one also. Uh, Normally, this is one thing. Normally, how much are we paying taxes, right? So let's say husband and wife getting $300,000 of salary. Now, here they pay taxes. Now, what happens after that tax? Then you get to spend it. Sales tax. Great. Now, after this one, if I'm investing, I invest money. Of course, I make money. If I make money, what do I have to do? I have to pay taxes. For example, if I lose money, for example, they say you keep your losses, meaning you can only take $3,000 as what do you call losses. The rest of the money, you can take it over the next years. But if you make money, you have to pay taxes. Again, depending on how much your capital gains taxes are. Now you already pay taxes here. Now, if you invest again, you have to pay taxes again. If you make money again, this loop keeps on going. We want to give all our clients one instrument where they pay taxes once and they don't have to worry about the taxes anymore for the rest of the life. So this is what I want all our clients to have one of those instruments. Invest money and make money. I don't have to pay taxes anymore. Good. So normally what we say is money goes through three phases: contributions, accumulation, and distribution. Now, where would you want to pay taxes? Right?
$5.
Obviously, Obviously $5. But what's happening right now, if I have in my 401k, I'm not paying taxes on when I'm contributing. When it's growing, I'm not paying taxes. Again, when I retire, I'm not taking all out at once, right? I'm taking money slowly. So if I'm paying taxes on $20. So why not have a vehicle where you pay taxes on the $5 and not have to worry about rest of that? But I'm not saying 401k is bad because if you have, especially if you have matching, definitely you should do it because you're getting free money from the employer. Definitely you should do it. But the extra money, where should you park? What kind of benefit? Do you want all the benefits we talked about? Now, let's go to when we retire. Let's say when I retired, where am I getting my income from? Oh, I have my 401k set up. Let's say I need $200,000. I take most of my money from my tax deferred account. That's what I mostly have. Of course, I get in Social Security. All of this is taxable. I have seen people telling me, hey, I pay more taxes in my retirement. Why? Because there is no deductions. Let's say if I'm making $200,000 right now, I have 401k deductions, I have a Social Security tax deduction, I have Medicare deduction, I have, if my kids are under 17, I have child tax credits happening. So the taxes I'm paying on my $200,000 currently is less, but once I retire, everything is taxable. There is no deductions right now. So, but if I have this funded, tax advantage vehicle funded, now let's look at this $50,000. Here, same coming from here. I'm only taking $75,000 on my tax deferred account. This vehicle, this I'm getting about additional $75,000. Now my taxable income is very less. Again, assuming the current same taxes right now, what we had, let's say when I retire also, here I'm ending up paying $26,000. Here I'm only paying $10,000. So this is where I need more control of how much taxes do I pay because I'm not getting extra money right now. I have a fixed money because based on how much money I should be taking every year, right? I would love to pay less taxes because I'm making less money because I'm on my retirement. So this is why I want all our customers to have this kind of bucket, tax advantage bucket. And very few people, again, all this thing is based on their affordability, how much they can afford. Good. So I think this is the last one. Again, I think we already talked about that. The second example a lot of people talk about is, hey, what average do you get? Relish, how much average returns you get in S&P 500?
10%, 10 to
10%.
10 to
Okay.
50.
Okay. So let's take 10%. So this for example, so this is another example. So this is what I put was, hey, let's make it a little bit bigger. I take investment. So from 2015, I'm starting to put $1,000 a month, so $12,000 a year. I started putting this one, and every year I'm making 10% returns. So every year, so my market is good, 10% is very good. Let's say 10 years, how much my 100,000, like $1,000 a month, how much I invested? $120,000. That grew to close to 200,000, $194,000. Again, I haven't invested all this money at once. I'm investing per month $1,000 or per year $12,000. So it took me 10 years to invest $120,000. And by at 10% returns, it grew to $194,000. Great. Now, if the market grew for 10 years, wouldn't it have a pullback? Like in 2022, there was a 19% pullback. Let's say 20% pullback. So what happened? This is the impact here. We lost about $38,000. Again, imagine you having $1 million asset. What would the impact be when you have all that monies in your market? If all your money is in the market, now there will be a 20%. If you have $1 million, 20% gone. It's 200, close to $200,000 is gone from my portfolio. So people think, okay, yeah, that is fine still, but yet market is going to recover. Great, yeah, it's going to recover. But let's see if we do this, we took all the risk, we put it in the market. Again, we're not talking about if I have to take money out, of course I have to pay taxes, right? Let's not talk. I'm just growing my money. So it's 20% return. Versus if I have invested in index contracts, the same money, and if the average returns are 4.5%, every year I'm getting 4.55%. Now I'm able to get match the same number, $155,000 here. So again, if you look at the year before, yes, I'm not there. This guy is 194, but there will be pullbacks. If we have seen in slide from North America, every average is every 5.5 years. I'm just taking for 10 years and there's a pullback. So there's only 4.5. Again, you can do this, a simple example in spreadsheet. You could do this. If I just get 4.5 consistently over the next 11 years, I'll be able to match what I was able to get here. Good. So this is one of the reasons why again, we're not taking all your savings, right? We're only taking 30% of your savings. You can still put it in your 401k, the remaining money. You can still put in stock market. That's what. So that's so, and this is another vehicle where you want to have this as option. First thing, it gives you all those benefits we talked about: tax-free growth, tax-free income. Good.
Yes.
Now let's look at the.
Venkat garu, can you reduce the size and so that we can take a screenshot?
Okay. Yeah. So there's a whole thing. So basically here, let me make it a little bit bigger. That's a lot of, oops, sorry. Oops. Give me 1 second. I don't know. It's still thinking. But yeah, it should be easy to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, while that is going, I'm going to log into North American and show you that example. Okay. Okay, you should be able to take it down, I guess, right?
Yeah, if you can go to the top. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have everything now.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, so now let's look at how we can run this illustration. So let's take an example of a 40-year-old, and let's say he's investing the same $1,000 a month, and see what kind of income we're going to get. So let's go to illustrations. Oops, no, I'm going to start a new case. Okay. Male 40. So I'm going to do IUL. Let's say the first one we're going to do is, of course, take preferred plus. Right now we can just use preferred, whatever. But I want to make sure I want mainly for income, right? So basically for income, I'm going to do distribution. That's my goal, is to get income, right? So, and let's put for now $250,000. Again, you can do a minimum face value, or depending on how much you want to put let's say let's $500,000, for example. Let's see what happens. And I want increasing death benefit until I take income, which is age 65. I want the death benefit to be growing. And I want to pay $1,000, right? For until age 65, same thing, right? I'm taking income until age 65. Now, income means you can leave the defaults again, but normally I just put annual income from age. Again, this default is 65 or 64. From 65, I want to take income. Let's say I put it until age 84, like next 20 years. Again, you can put different ages, but I'm going to use this. Here, there's different kinds of options for loans. We're going to leave with the loan participating fixed. Great. And for now, I'm going to just leave the defaults for the indexes. It has 50% in S&P 500, 50% in Fidelity. Again, means once you see what the indexes are performing, you can always choose that. But for now, I'm going to just take the defaults 50-50. So let's go ahead and run this illustration. So basically what we're trying to do is, if I put $1,000 a month for then until age 65, how much income I'm going to get. Again, this is also important to show is how long are we taking. When we look at the illustration for now, again, we can go talk about the strength of the company. Why should they invest in this company? We should have all that ready. But for now, we're going to just go directly to the ledger. If I go to the ledger, okay. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'm going to make it. Okay, that's fine. So you can still see it. So basically, I take a $500,000. I'm putting $1,000 a month until age 65, and now I'm able to get $60,000. So it took me how long? 20 full years to put in $300,000. I did not put all these things in one, right? So if you put in $300,000, my cash value is close to what? $588,000, right? Okay, there is something here I did. Okay, no. No, I think there is one more. Let me just change the one thing here is I did not do this. Retain current IDV. So what happened there was the death benefit was going down. That's one of the reasons I had to come back and do this. So I'm increasing death benefit till age 65. And after that, I want to retain the death benefit. I don't want to drastically drop. So let me just run one more time again. So what I'm for now, I'm putting $1,000 a month for 25 years. I'm putting $300,000. So what is our cash value at age 65? And on top of that, we also have a $500,000 of death benefit that is getting added. So day one, if God forbid something happens to this client, they're getting a $500,000. And on top of that, every year the death benefit is growing because we have increasing death benefit. So by age 65, hopefully you guys can see it, age 65, I have about $550,000 worth of cash and $500,000, so 1 million worth of death benefit. Right. Now, this is where we're taking close to $60,000. So it took us what? 25 long years to put in this money. It went how long? 25 long years to put in $300,000. And I'm able to take out all that money in 5 years, close to $200,000, $300,000. I'm able to take out all that money, right? And if you continue to do this until age 80, so we're able to take close to $1.1 million now out. Still, there is close to what? $500,000 of death benefit still left, right? So this is what we're giving the value. If I will have to get about 50, close to $60,000 per year income, how much asset should I have? Right? Because we have to pay taxes, right? So if I have $100,000, let's say again, assuming again, depending on the tax bracket, the 20, I had to have 20% more. 20%. If I'm taking $100,000 out, the $20,000, $30,000 is gone because I had to pay taxes. Because as we talked about, there is no other deductions happening for me. So this is where we see the value here. Good. Any questions on this one before I go to the next example?
Venkat, one quick question. When you take money out from the cash value which is incurred, and obviously that benefits decreases, but what if you don't pay that money back? Then what happens? Do you get a lower return on income, or how does it get
Ah,
adjusted?
First of all, this is your cash value they're giving you as income, right? So your death benefit is decreasing. For example, at age 65, the death benefit is $1 million, 1,051,000, right? 51. Versus here, it came down to $998,000. So they already decreased the cash value. So if death happens, the family is going to get the death benefit. So you don't have to pay back this loan.
Okay.
So every year the cash value is decreasing because account value is based on how much you have minus the loan charges, because all these things you're taking as a loan, and the net is this $235,000 here.
So even if you don't pay it, it's fine. Any debt
Exactly.
then.
Exactly.
If you don't pay it back, it's called a wash loan, right? Technically, like it's like a terminology, a wash
All right.
loan
So
when it.
again, this
Uh,
depending on what kind of loan you took. So this
okay, so
loan here is
right.
so wash loan is when you do the standard loan.
Oh,
This
oh,
loan here, when I have loan options here, you have standard loan, variable, and participating loan. So the big difference here, participating loan, why we took participating loan is because you are getting, there is a bonus also. Even though there is no growth happening, there is like bonus happening. This product has a bonus. You are getting that 2% bonus on the loan amount. For example, let's take a simple example. I have $100,000 I take $50,000 as a loan in standard loan. What happens is they're going to give you that $50,000, and that's where you have, they charge you, let's say 3% or 2% on the interest for the loan. They also credit back the same 3% back to you. That is what we call as a washout loan. If you take a standard loan, there'll be a washout loan. Now I'm taking a participating loan. Now, what happens here is what the company does is if I have $100,000, I'm taking out once $50,000 as a loan. They'll say, hey, we're going to lend the company's money at 5% returns, 5% loan charges. But we'll still keep your $100,000 in your policy. So whatever the index performs, we're going to credit that.
Okay.
So that way, if you think the market is good, it's like why not? Why not get loan at 5% if I'm thinking my S&P 500 is doing great, I'm getting about, well, let's say the cap in S&P 500 in this one, let me see which one, it's 10.5. I put money in S&P 500 and I can get up to 10.5. If the market is doing more than 5%, 6%, 7%, I'm still getting benefited, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I would want. Again, you can decide at the time of taking the loan which loan you want. So you don't need to tell them right now what loan, how are you taking the money out.
Okay.
So
You don't have to
that's
tell them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So you tell them at that, again, you can take it as a lump sum, you can take monthly with the way, whatever way you want to take it. So let's say if I'm here 10 years down the lane, I had about $123,000 and I say, hey, I want to take a car, buy a condo. I want to take $60,000, $70,000 out. Sure. You could take up to, again, depending on if you're contributing more, you can take up to 80% of the cash value as loan. So anytime for any reason.
Okay. Yeah. And then, so basically, it depends on. So basically, you're saying that looking at how the market is doing, try to make a decision of whatever loan you want to do when you
Exactly.
want to take out the
Exactly.
money.
Mhm. And
Right.
and later, because I have seen clients where they want to take a policy where you could put, again I could take a minimum death benefit policy, but then I can't put more money in this one. That's why I want to design it so that at least I have some flexibility. If I could have taken, let's say, I mean, minimum death benefit as $300,000, let's say, then I can put more money later. So if people want to get more income, they after for a while they can add more income also in this one. Like means more monthly contributions. If I want to get more income, I could increase it.
Okay.
Hey, Venkat, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Aki.
Yeah, great call. Good morning, everyone. It's there. Quick, what you need to understand over here, everybody, is what is a index universal life. I hope everybody's licensed and people who are not licensed must be studying for this. So when you clear your test, there is something called a flexible plan, right? Flexible premium plan. There is also a corridor in place. So what here Venkat is trying to explain to us over here is since IUL is a flexible premium plan and it's a flexible way, you have access to your money anytime for any reason. This is not a retirement plan where you have to wait till 59 and a half, or you will end up paying 10% penalty plus taxes. Now, can you withdraw the loan from your retirement plan? Sure, but you have to return it in certain period. If not, then it becomes a penalty and taxable event. Why people invest money in IUL for various reasons, which Venkat has done a great job for all of us to understand. Me personally, I'm investing a lot of money into an IUL plan for years now. Between me, my wife, and my daughter, between three of us, I'm putting a significant amount of my income into this plan. And I'm maxing out this plan for various reasons. Now, you can start with 500,000 target premium and above. But the one thing that I want all of you to understand here is since we are talking about the loan portion of it, to make it very simple so the client can understand this thing is see, whenever we invest money, you're taking out a loan. So there are two types of loan, like Venkat explained. One is the standard loan, and one is the participation loan. These are the two most popular loan options that we can withdraw from this income. One is the wash loan, which is the standard loan. Whatever the interest that they charge, they'll immediately credit to us, so our account value will be zero. So, for example, if I've taken a $200,000 loan out of it, and for whatever reason, for my daughter's college education funds, I want to use for her marriage, I want to use for her first time home buying thing, I want to use for myself, for whatever reason, they will never ask you a reason when you ask for a loan, why do you need this money? No, that's my money. So, pretty much in a simple word, so that you and the client can understand, is this is nothing but this is your checking account in a life insurance contract. So when you have a value in your money in a checking account, what you do, it's your money. It's none of the bank's business why you need that money and when you need that money. No, it's up to you. If there is a cash value in the surrender portion in the first 10 years and later, it's the same. Cash value and the surrender value is the same. If it's important for all of you to know is, if someone needs a loan in the first 10 years in North American contract, then there is a surrender charge, right? So the surrender, you can only withdraw the loan from the surrender charge, not from the cash value. But after the 10th year, it is the same, so it really doesn't matter. Now, if I want to withdraw the loan, it's totally up to me whether I wanted to repay that loan or I wanted to just use it for whatever purpose and not to worry about it. That's totally in your control, in the client's control. So let's say I have $200,000. I said I need $100,000 or $40,000 each year for next 4 years for my daughter's college education. Sure, you can do that. You can withdraw that 40,000, 50,000, the way you want, depending on how much money you have in your cash value, just like your checking account. Now, I have two options over here. First, let's understand from the repay. Do I have to repay the loan? The answer is no, you don't have to. But why people love to repay? I'll give you an example. Now, let's say I borrowed this money when my daughter Zoe goes to college, let's say at the age of 18. I withdraw for 4 years or 6 years, depending on whether she goes for 4 years education, 6 year education, or longer. Now, what I do is, yes, I need that money. Now, in the 22nd year of Zoe's age, after 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, I have some extra funds. Why would I reinvest? Why I repay that loan is because that money is growing tax free for me. Now that money I've already withdrawn. Now I have savings in that 6 years from my salary, from my wife's salary. I have sold some real estate investment. I have invested in some startup, or I have money coming in from India. Okay. It happens with all of us, right? Let's say I sold a land in Hyderabad. I got money. I have no plans to go back. Neither I want to put money over there. I'm just giving an example. As I bring it back over here, I want to reinvest. Or I have made some investment in the past. I got that money back. Now I want to reinvest. Instead of reinvesting, what I do is I put that money back in IUL because there is an outstanding loan that I can always pay back. And why would I do that? The reason is, one is it's growing tax deferred and tax free for me. Second, the same amount of interest. See, one main thing, friends, why I invest a lot of money for the last 13 years into these contracts, and I keep buying it more and more as my income increases, to get, let's stick to the basic illustration over here, right? The nominal return according to the AG 49B, an insurance company cannot exceed the illustration percentage beyond something. So in this case, it is 6.58%. Now, whenever you get a chance, Venki, you can show them the past return of this contract. It is definitely more than 6.58% in each allocation option that this is given over here. But why the company is showing at 6.58? Because of AG 49, they have to stick to certain percentage. What they are telling is, if the client receives more than 6.58, let them keep it. It's their money. But we wanted to demonstrate the conservative return. So 6.58, think about it. If S&P 500, an average, if you look at it, if you Google it, what happens now? About from 2005 to 2025, if you look at the last 20 years return, assuming that you're going to reinvest your dividends back into the stock, the average return, including the dividend, is between 9 to 11%. That is including dividends that it is there. Now, if you purely invest your money in S&P 500, not in some of the S&P 500 stocks, but in S&P 500, which is a great idea. So you get anywhere between 9 to 11% for 20 years if you do the research. Generally speaking, most of our retirement funds, or while we are earning, we are not expecting money to withdraw from it because we want to keep it for our retirement. Generally, people want to retire between 60 and 67. Now, in that case, what happens is when we have that 20 years of run, and if S&P is performing anywhere between 9 to 11%, let's say, including dividend, what are the chances of us earning 6.58% in an IUL contract? Way more than that. But also it protects you in the down market. So I'm on actually my phone, but let me enlarge this. Yes. So S&P, guys, give me 1 second, okay? My daughter called me 3 different times. Venkat, I'll be back in like 30 seconds, okay? Take
Okay,
it from here.
great. Thanks, Aki. This is what Aki is telling about. I mean, this is the values, right? Actual values. And if you Google it, again, what Aki was telling you, it last 20 years. How much is S&P doing? Great. But this is what, for example, in last year, if you invested everything in last year in S&P 500, you would have gotten 10.5. But we are only showing average 6.5, right?
Venkat,
Yeah.
Venkat, can you hear me? Yeah.
Okay,
So
yes.
what I show to my client is, if you look at this one, Venkat, if you can enlarge only S&P 500, since you're talking about S&P 500, okay?
Mhm.
Now let's look at this. Maybe less, little less, so I can, yeah, perfect, perfect, perfect. Stay there. Okay, so now if you see, friends, why I reinvest my money or repay my loan into this is, if you look at the S&P 500 index towards your left, from 2005 to 2024, it has performed 4.7, 13.5, 3.5, and there is a drop of 38%. Now, 38%, the example that Venkat showed us for 20%, our percentage from 10%, it came down to 4.5%. Now, imagine if the impact is 38%, your return will not be 4.54, it will be 2%. Okay, between 2 and a 3% will be your return. So normally people, what they do is they don't understand. They only stick to that, the past return. They don't calculate that impact on it. So people who are making notes, I want you to write down something. See, I tell my client is when you lose money, you're not losing money on principal, you're also losing money on gain. So there is that one reverse compounding calculator in one of my presentations. Maybe Venkat, you can show them one of the in the trainings and show them why it is important. So now what happens if you see the market has not dropped since 2009. Okay, there was a slight correction of 0.7%, no big deal. But in 2018, that 6.2%, the impact will be much for 6%. But again, in 2022, it's 19.8%. So when you calculate those negative years, it only happens in last 10, 15, 20 years, maybe 2 to 3 times, but 2 to 3 times can wipe off your 5 to 6% of total interest that you earn, the gain that you earned for the last 20 years. So what I'm doing over here is if I get 7.4% compounding where I never take the down return, it's much, much, much greater than the S&P or any stock return, in my opinion. Plus, it's growing tax-free, so I don't have to worry about paying taxes. Second, I don't even know what will be the taxes tomorrow. Generally, taxes are meant to go up. So in this case, what happens is, who is the best version? And I always recommend my client, don't put more than 20 to 30% of your savings, not earnings, 20 to 30% of your savings into an IUL contract. And you still have 70 to 80% to invest wherever you feel comfortable. Now, for example, if I have $1, I suggest them to put 20 to 30 cents into this contract. Now, you still have to find a vehicle where you can park that remaining 70 to 80 cents. Oh, I like stocks, Aki. Sure, go for it. I like to max out my 401k. That's a great option. I want to invest in real estate. Sure, you have to save a lot of money to invest in real estate. You cannot invest $1,000 in real estate every year unless you're buying some REIT funds in a stock market. So there are different options. Do whatever you want to do. But how about taking an advantage of the taxes, the last bucket, which is the tax advantage? And why don't we move money over there that protects your family from the uncertainties of life, like premature death, disability, heart attack, stroke, cancer, plus access to your money, emergency funds, college education funds. And whenever we all have to go at one day, I have to leave a legacy to my family, to my wife, to my kids, so that I can pass on. And if it happens tax free, even better. See, income today we are talking about withdrawing, but I might not even need that income. I may leave that entire money as a legacy and I will never reduce the death benefit. I'll let it continue to grow, and I wanted to leave that tax free because I have some other sources where I earn enough income from real estate, rental income, maybe some other investments, social security. Maybe one or two people on this call may have a pension plan or something else. So it's a very flexible plan where the client is absolutely in control to do what he wants to do. So from the loan perspective also, if you look at that S&P chart, that is very, very good. So invest that money over there, let the money grow. And if it is 7.5% is the, or 7.6%, 7.4% is the S&P 500 average, if you are getting at 6.56% alone, this will beat any given day if you do the math, any given day. If you don't even consider the taxes, see the average 9 to 10% what S&P is showing is the percentage wise, not the dollar wise. If you look at the dollar wise, it is totally different. It's not 9 to 10%. Venkat, can you draw something on your computer so our friends can understand what I'm saying over here?
Okay.
Can you write something on your screen?
Let me go to whiteboard. Okay. Let me.
All right. We cannot see the whiteboard, but I think it's coming up. Yep, I see it. So let's say, friends, we started investing 10 years ago with whatever amount. And today, the end result with all the gains, we have $100. So write $100. I started with 30, 40, 50, whatever. Now it is 100. Or you know what? Let me make it simple. Let's say you start with $100. Write down $100 over there. So friends, explain this to your clients about this concept. So $100. Now, in the first year, you got 40% return. Okay, Venki, write down 40%, so $40.
Okay.
Okay, write for 40%. Okay, you wrote over there, no problem. Okay, now in the second year, you lost 20%.
So 140, right? 140 minus 20.
140, yeah. And over there, what you do, 140. That is the first year result. Second year, you lost 20%. Okay. End game, 20% gain. This percentage game, this big firms that they send it to you, those booklets, right? Oh, our average return is about 12%, 14%, 15%, 10%, whatever. I ask all because I've sat with many financial advisors who are managing my clients' money, and I tell them, no, it's not the same, my friend. So don't put my clients in that trap of percentage. Now, if you think about it, so if you draw the line plus 40 and minus 20, your net gain is 20%. That's what they show you. Our average return is 20%. Are they lying? They are not lying because you're not asking them the right question. You are asking them the percentage. Well, how much is your return? Oh, my return is 20%. Now, if when you lost 20% on 140, it is $28 what you lost over there. Agree? So minus 140 minus 28 is what? The end goal is 112. Net percentage-wise, it's 20. On $100, they say our average return is 20. What is your average return? Dollar-wise, how much you have in your account? 112. Is that 20% return or 12% return? No, that math is not right, Venki.
So plus 20%?
First
Oh.
erase all that. Okay, erase that. You're confusing everybody over here. The $100, 40% return is 140. Minus 20%, you lose $28 on 140. So your end goal is 112. So the percentage what they are showing is plus 40 and minus 20 is 20%.
Yeah.
But the percentage wise, what do you care about? Percentage or the dollar amount in your bank account? Everybody cares for the dollar amount. I don't care for the percentage, whatever percentage it is. At the end of the day, if I withdraw the money from my account, how much money do I have in my account? According to the percentage, it's supposed to be 120. Why is it 112? That's the math the majority of the people fail to understand. They fall into this percentage trap. They don't care about the dollar amount, neither they know about it, neither they have a tool to calculate it. Since I'm giving you a simple math over here, why I personally invest a lot of money in annuities and in IUL, that's the math that we all need to understand. See, simple math, now everybody understands this, right? $100, first year 40% gain means 140. You're happy. Second year, market loss 20%. Okay, so what is 20% of 140 minus $28? So 112 is the final number. Dollar wise, it's 112. Percentage wise, it's 20. Majority of these people play games with a percentage. Oh, our average return is 20%. No, right? It's not 20%, it's 112%. It's 112 is 12%. So what do you care about the most? Dollar amount or the percentage? So that's the same thing when people say, oh, S&P is 9 to 10%, 11%. Yes, that's the exact math what I'm showing over here. But when you put the dollar amount to it, minus 38%, minus 19%, minus 6%, how much is the dollar amount over there? It's not the same. It's different. But in spite of that also, what happens over here is when you put the indexing contract, it's different because first year 10%, second year plus 10%, you may not see the full return, but that 20% is not the 20%. It's more than that. It's $122 because of the compounding effect. And when the market tank another 38%, guess what? You will remain flat at 122. So in an indexing contract, the way it works is this guy sees 10% in the first year, 10% in the second year. The compounding is $122. And when the market tanks, the 122 remains 122. It any given day, my friends, will outbeat any performance if you think about it. So majority of the time, people only look at the percentage. They don't do the math of 112. And it becomes very difficult to maintain also. Lot of our folks, what they do, they max out their 401k or they put more than the company match. It is almost impossible to track that because every month, every year, you're putting money plus whatever the percentage that they are showing. Since I showed you a simple math of plus 40 minus 20, 20, but the dollar amount is 112. Now, this will not happen immediately in the second year. You may get 7 years of positive return. One negative year of 20, 30, 38% happens. It will completely wipe off your 10 years of return in no time. Venki, since we are talking about this, do you have that sales concept presentation that I sent it to you? There is one reverse compounding calculator. Can you bring up?
Okay, 1 second. You sent it now, Kaki?
No, I sent you in Fort Lauderdale. If you don't have it, let me send it to you. Let me email it to you.
Okay.
Okay, because that will help all our friends to understand. Because it's important for them to know this. Otherwise, they'll continue to compare this. Oh, S&P is this, S&P is that. All right, where is Venkat? Venkat Adusumali. All right. Okay, Venki, I emailed you. If you received it, open it, please.
Okay.
I appreciate your patience, everyone on this call. Just give us 30 seconds and we'll bring up that.
Not yet.
Oh,
Okay, got it.
got it? Can you open that? All right, go to the second slide.
Let me do this. Let me maximize it first. Oh.
The second one, taxes. Yep. All right, guys, I want you to pay close attention over here. You can Google this chart, or you can go to taxfoundation.org, or you can go to irs.gov, and you will find the same income tax history. So could the history repeat? If you see over there on your screen, since the tax inception back in 1913 till today, here's the highest income tax bracket. So if you see from 1917 till 1988, among that, the highest tax bracket at one point was 94, and the lowest in that period was 63% in 1932. And if you see from 1917 till 1988, the highest tax bracket today, which is 37%, at that time it was 63% was the lowest. What my worry and concern for our folks is everyone is maxing out 401k, IRA, SEP IRA, defined benefit plans, stock portfolio, real estate rental income, which is also an ordinary income. See, today you're thinking, oh, my taxes is too much. Based on 37%, what if tomorrow taxes go up to 63% in the highest category? Do you control taxes? Do I control taxes? Does insurance company or S&P 500 taxes? Nobody controls taxes. Taxes are beyond control. We don't control. But all your assets are either in the first bucket or second bucket, either in tax now or tax later. Everybody's excited about creating a rental income. Great assets. You should do it. I'm not against any vehicle. I'm a big fan of stocks, 401k, rental income, everything. But from the tax perspective, at some point you are withdrawing money from it, right? At that time, what you'll do if the taxes go up, not 37% goes to 45%. Do you control? You don't control. If it goes to 50%, do you control? You don't control. There was one pandemic, $6 trillion were printed, given to everybody. Rich has all the Wall Street guys to save their taxes. Poor have nothing to pay the taxes. Who's going to ain't up you and me, the middle America? People don't understand the tax point of it. They only compare today I'm saving taxes. Arey bhai, you're not saving taxes. You're delaying taxes, Ravi. People think putting money in a 401k and IRA in real estate, they are saving taxes. Stop calling it savings. It's not savings. In real estate, also, you take the depreciation today, but when you sell the property, there will be a recapture tax. So, what they think, oh, I'm going to do the 1031 exchange. Yeah, 1031 exchange, but at some point it will be recaptured. Same thing in 401k also, IRA, SEP IRA, what they do, I'm maxing out to save taxes. No, you're not saving taxes. You're delaying taxes. At some point, it will be taxed. And I'm not saying it's a bad vehicle. It's a great vehicle. Take advantage of it. That's why I'm a big fan of diversification. That's when I tell people put 20 to 30% of your savings into this vehicle. 70 to 80% do whatever you want to do. Oh, I like 401k. Max out. You have 80 cents over a dollar away. So that it's important for all of us first to understand why this vehicle is there. If tomorrow, if taxes remains the same or it goes up, who cares? I don't care. At least I have 20 to 30% of my savings for my retirement that is there, which is completely, genuinely tax free. And the good news, friends, people who don't know, it won't even impact my social security withdrawals. It won't even impact my kids when I'm filling a FAFSA form, this assets, I don't have to worry about declaring in my daughter's FAFSA form as well. Plus, it gives me tax benefit. It gives me a tax-free legacy transfer. Plus, it gives me a tax-free growth. Oh, there are many advantages to it. One last thing, then I have to leave. All right, let's go to the next slide. Now, let's break that myth. I'll bust this that, oh, I'm getting 10% return in the stock market. Okay, good. Last 20 years, S&P 500, including dividend reinvestment in the brokerage account, is about 9 to 11%. That's a 10%, two-digit year. So here, if you see on your screen, what it says, current principal in the first one is 0. Annual addition every month, $1,000 will put it. Years to grow 10. Interest rate is 10% every year, calculating from compounding interest from first year. You invested 120,000 in 10 years. Okay, your 10 years accumulation because of no, Venkat, stay there. Okay, thank you. 120, your accumulation is $210,000. That's a compounding 10% interest every year. You invest 120, it took 10 long years to invest that. But since you got two-digit year returns, it came up to $210,000. Everybody is happy. And everybody is saying, Are, IUL is what, Rapa. They are just buzzing. Oh, no, I'm only getting 7%, 7.5% return. I wish I would have invested in the stock market. I would have got 10% return. All right. That's the rosy picture for 10 years till the market is going up. Here, I ask two questions to my client. Okay. What are those two questions? Please write down. Those two questions are, I tell them, Mr. Client, tell me something. Do you think that stock market can consecutively go up for rest of your life? Oh, no, Aki, that not happen. Okay. And do you think at the same time that the stock market consecutively go down? No, that is also not possible. Okay, so do you agree that market cannot consecutively go up? Market cannot consecutively go down. Okay, the sideways pattern is a healthy pattern, what they say. Every 7, 8 years, the market may correct 20, 25, 30%. That is the history. Yes, that's okay. All right, so let's look at it. You said 10% for 10 years. The second question, it's very important. I hope everybody is not listening but making notes. I've been on field for 13 years, helped hundreds and hundreds of family to educate about how money works, how taxes work. And I'm sharing that experience with you. Please make a note of it. So tomorrow when you go and educate your client, you don't have to wait for 13 years to learn this. Second thing that I ask my client is, Mr. Client, be realistic. Like you said, market cannot consecutively go up. In this particular example that you see on your screen, the market went up 10% for 10 years. 10 years, for God's sake. In the 11th year, don't you think so? Market will take some breather over there and have a 30% correction based on our history. It's more than that. But let's assume 30%. They'll say, yes, Aki, 30%, it's realistic. I say, forget about 30%. What about 20%? And they'll say, yes, 20% is very realistic. If I ask all of you, I think unanimously everybody will say, yes, Aki, market has given us 10% return for last 10 years. 20% is very nominal. Yes, I accept that. Let's quickly, Venkat, I have to go. I have to drop Zoe somewhere. Can you go to the next one? Guys, here you will get a shock of your life. And here's what my client gets the same reaction. Okay. So now what happens in this one? In the 11th year, if the market crash in the 11th year, what happens now? In the 11th year, 20%. So on the left side, you see that 210,000 that got circled. What is 20% loss of 210? $42,000. What is 42,000 minus 210? It's $168. Do you know what is your average return for 11 years? Let's look at it. 4%. 4%. 4% is your average return. Now this guy all of a sudden fall in love with IUL. Array, at least that IUL gave me 7+% return. This is 4%. It's there. There is no way you can beat this. Now, if someone is thinking that IUL, the stock market can consecutively go up for the rest of your life, sure. And I'm not saying not to invest in stock market. What I'm telling them is from the tax point of view, from the investment point of view, from the return point of view, from the legacy point of view, from the tax-free free withdrawal point of view, why don't you put 20 to 30% in an IUL that protects your family from day one so you sleep well at night because of the life insurance component, the other benefits to it. So, and my friends, that's when you see the value in it. If you just think in one direction, it doesn't work that way, my friends. And I always say, talk is cheap, seeing is believing. Right? So that's it from my side. I have to drop my daughter. It's there, so I can see it on the screen. But maybe one day I'll have where we will discuss more about it in detail. These products, if you explain to them the way it is, I'll tell you, my friends, it will really help you to close that sale. It's not a big deal. This products, in my opinion, sells by itself. If you look at the cost and everything, still this one outbeat any given day with any other investment out there, in my opinion. Okay, back to you, Venki. I hope that was helpful.
Yes,
We'll love to
definitely.
take the feedback and we'll go from there. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you very
maybe
much,
one
Akibai.
of these days we will definitely have a discussion where we will discuss more in detail. It's there. But for now, okay, let's discuss about this. Venki, you can take over from here. And
Okay.
maybe next Sunday we have Diwali Puja in our office. It won't be possible. But maybe one of these days during the week or something else, let this Diwali be over, and then we can discuss more about it. But friends, this product again sells by itself. Sells by itself. And imagine if you explain the way me and Venki is helping you to do that. Guess what? That's a commission of at least, what's the target on this? Close to about $10,000-$12,000.
Yep, 9,600.
See, that's a $10,000 BV. That, depending on your level, that is anywhere between $5,000 to $8,000 worth of commission right here.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, guys. Thanks, Venki, for the opportunity. Sorry to hijack your presentation.
No,
Back to you, my
Thank you.
friend.
Thank you, Akibai.
Thank you for the Diwali gift, Akibai.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is what Akibai is talking about, the target premium here. This is the target premium for this policy is about 900. So I had one more example here. Basically, what I'm trying to say, the earlier the better. So this guy to get $50,000, $60,000, he has to put $1,000 per month, right? If he waited for 40, if he waited and like, I know 5 more years, what's the big deal? I'll do it later. So if he waited 5 more years, if to get similar kind of returns, he had to put in more money. So that is where what we say is that time compounding, right? So example, let me go back to this. I just, for the interest of time, I just ran this example and kept it. So I have to put in for a 45-year-old, I put in 1,500 per month. That means $18,000 per year. I had to put the same, right? Now, I was able to get about $64,000 of income. But I'm putting what, $60,000 more. I had to put $60,000 more now. So this is where the earlier is better. It's easier to put in $1,000 a month versus 1,500, right? That's why the sooner we can start, the better. Any other questions? Pawan, you had a question?
Yeah, I think I have one question on the illustration, Venkat. I think this is, if you scroll down the illustration for like 80 years and all, I mean, I see death benefit was going down initially and then it started increasing again.
Yeah.
Is there any reason why that's, is that a growth or it's some?
No, it's basically because we have a big enough asset in account value, and assuming we're getting 6.58 on the cash value, plus there is a 2% because of the loan we took in this product, right? That's the advantage of this product is basically all the money you have in the account value, you are also getting the guaranteed, what do you call, what is it? It's not the Guaranteed bonus. Yeah, guaranteed bonus. That's where you see the account value growing. The death benefit is also growing.
Okay. So if I understand that correctly, so 6% is what the return I mean the return what we are getting,
Mm-hmm.
and 5% is the loan,
Yeah.
and the 2
The,
point some 2% is what the guaranteed return we are getting. So
mm-hmm.
that means I am only paying, I mean, 6 and 2, and I'm only paying 4%. I mean, sorry, 3%, right? For my um, loan amount, the fixed loan charge.
Yeah. Here I'm taking participating loan. So for
Okay.
participating loan, fixed participating loan, the maximum I'm paying 5.7% in interest, right? And what we am assuming is I'm getting 6.78. That's a 1% more. Actually, I think based on the corridor, they can only illustrate only 0.5% more that we are getting on the amount of money. Whatever money you invested in loan, the maximum you can get is 0.5% more than the loan charges,
Okay. Okay.
right? That is one thing. But here in this product, you're getting that additional bonus, that 2%. So that to close to 2.5, you're getting on this whole value of your account value. That is where you see more returns in this product.
Okay. Yeah. Got it.
This would give you more income. This is mainly designed for more income product.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Yeah. And I also have one more question on a case comment on 20 to 30% invest in an IUL, right?
Mhm.
So when we calculate the investment, right, the investment, do we consider, I mean, everybody will max out the 401k, right? So will they consider the 401k as an investment, or we are talking about
Yes.
the savings part?
Investment, because besides what is the say after all your living expenses and everything, what is the remaining money from your account, right? And of course, you're putting some part into your 401k. These are all for in later, right? See, all these things you are doing for retirement or right, whatever that is. So let's say at the end of the month, I have $2,000 and 700 is going to my 401k, the remaining $1,400. So that's the $2,000 is my amount. So out of this $2,000, 30%, right? $800 I want to be putting into the IUL. Maybe some will be going into my 401k. Definitely, yes.
Okay.
We include that also. And yeah, and let me know if there are any takeaways. What is one thing or two things you liked in the presentations?
Yeah, the percentage trap, right? Everybody will fall into,
Definitely.
especially the slide which where we explain a 10% growth consistently and a 20% one year it will be 20% negative. And if you look at the average return, what we get is 4%. So that's eye opener
Yep. Reverse
because
compounding.
yeah, the reverse compounding part. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Well, thank you. Next, go ahead. Rupesh, are you?
Yeah, hi everyone. Hi Venkat. Great illustration. Of course, such a nice explanation from Aki Bhai as well. So I have a very peculiar question, Venkat ji. See, my understanding is, and it is, IUL, whatever premium is paid by end client, the portion goes to the cost of insurance, which
Mhm.
depends on the age and health, and
Mhm.
the remaining portion goes in the investment bucket. Okay.
Mhm.
And IUL is a great product for somebody who is working, okay, who is in between 20s to 40s, okay,
Mhm.
because the concept of compounding, okay, is there, and the more the money is there, the more it's going to be there in the retirement bucket. What I wanted to know is how IUL can be beneficial as a use for somebody who is in mid 50s or above, because I have heard somewhere that, okay, it is also a good tool for legacy transfer.
Mhm.
So if somebody in mid 50s comes to me and says, and he is interested to invest in index contracts, but he doesn't want to put a large single premium into annuity, and he
Mhm.
wants to give out monthly things. So, but for him, the cost of insurance is going to be higher because the age is higher. So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to hear, Venkat.
Yeah, I mean, see, if they want death benefit as a vehicle, we could do that in IUL. But yes, you're right. For income purposes, there is not much left, right? There is no. See, it's always based on the end result. What is he looking for the end? Is he looking for end for him money to for him to use it? Is he looking for money to say give it to your kids? What is the end result? That's based on that we can design. There is also something called multi-premium annuities. So you can start putting an annuities every single month into the annuities also. But that the amount is taxable. The whatever the growth is taxable there. Again, if the client is not insurable and he doesn't like the what do you call charges, whatever, yeah, they can do that. But again, at the end, the money, whatever the growth is going to be taxable. So it's always going to be what is your time horizon of your results? When do you need this money? And based on that, we need to suggest those products.
Okay, understood.
Great,
Thank you
thank
very much.
you. Any takeaways, Rupesh, from
No,
today's meeting?
this is a great, I mean, takeaway. It's a very simplified explanation. Okay, I just a month before I submitted this for my personal consumption as well. Okay, so yeah,
Very
it's
good, very good.
definitely a good tool. Yeah.
Thank you. Vijay?
Yeah, hi Venkat garu. Hello everyone. It's a great presentation as always, Andy. But I do have a couple of questions. So first question is, suppose if the client did like increasing in the beginning when he was submitting this application, and after 1 year he wants to change it. He don't want it increasing. He just want to leave it. Can they change that?
Death benefit, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can change it anytime.
Okay. They don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then one more is so even the premium, they started like, hey, I want to do only for 500. And after a couple of years, they want to increase the premium they pay. So will that be also be okay?
Yes. Yeah, that is why you need to have a little bit. For example, for this person, if I take a $250,000 policy, I could still put $1,000, but the thing is later I can't put more money into it. So that is where we
Mm,
want to give little bit. Means the client is absolutely sure I want the minimum charges. I would decrease the death benefit. I think for this person, I think
okay.
you had to put
Yep.
in at least $260,000. I thought I looked at it, but
Wait,
Okay.
I in that case you can't add more anymore. But here you could add.
Okay.
Go to page 42, Venkat.
No, one second. Vijay, are you asking changing the death
Not
benefit
death
or changing
benefit,
the premium?
increasing, changing the premium. Yes.
Oh, changing the premium. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any changes to death benefit, there should be a reissuing. You cannot change
Reissue
that.
only.
Yeah.
Okay. If they want to
Okay.
change the death benefit, then they have to submit a new application.
Yeah,
Yeah,
changes. Request changes. Okay.
yeah.
I heard
Change.
like death benefits. So I just want to make sure.
Oh, okay. And also, I have one question. Like, I'm hearing like we get a good tax benefit, right? But
Mhm.
suppose we paid for 15 years and we are done with IUL, but after 25 years, I'm taking it away. That time, we are still paying the tax on the gains, right? So then,
No, no, no.
like,
Here
mm,
in this policy, that's the main advantage of life insurance is the money you're getting that the $60,000 we're getting here, this is tax free. You do not have to report on any forms. If I'm retired, this money is your money. Anytime you access it. See, anything in retirement, let's say if I'm getting money from my rental property, taking money from 401k, all that's get reported on my taxes. This money I'm taking out does not get reported on anything.
so, but that money is what we paid, right? It is our principal money, right? That 59,000.
No, this only the 300,000 is your principal. Now, if I live up to 85, I'm taking $1.1 million out.
Yeah, in that 1 million, other than 300,000, we have to pay tax for
No,
700,000 or,
no. We do not have
okay.
to pay
uh,
taxes
uh,
on anything.
because Venkat, this is because you are paying upfront your tax paid money. Yes, because this is a
Yeah.
when you are investing, your tax paid dollars. You are not investing pre-tax like 401k.
Yeah.
So
So this
this is
is
the after-tax money we are
Yeah, this
paying
yeah.
is
as
the after-tax
premiums.
money. Yeah.
But I think my question was like, are we paying anything when we are taking, like when we reached 80 years or whatever, and we made $1 million from IUL, but we paid only 200,000, for example. So then when I'm taking that million out, am I paying